And we are live. Fanboy Modeling School. Hello and welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. Happy anniversary. Not anniversary. What the holiday is this?
4th of July.
Happy Independence Day, motherfuckers. It's written right on my screen. I don't know why I didn't know that. I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD, and I'm here with my boy
Steve, real name, no gimmicks. What's going on, everybody?
Well, we've got a bunch of topics that we absolutely have to get into, and even though it's a holiday, we're supposed to be chilling. We're probably going to be throwing shit at each other.
Probably going to be throwing shade at some of the biggest content creators to ever make money that we have not yet made, but we made some dollars on a certain little Korean app called Spork. You know what I'm saying? We made some money. Obviously, we got to talk about. I hope you're up to speed. I know I sent the videos to you. I don't know if you got a chance to watch them. I sent you revised videos with higher audio quality, but we got to talk about the guy that everyone's calling the ultimate cuck on the internet, Adam22, owner proprietor of No Jumper.
We're definitely going to get into that. Because at first when you were sending me the videos, I was like, why is Steve sending me porn?
Corn. You got to say corn.
No, I think we're a couple minutes in. I think we're good, right? I was like, why is he sending me this stuff? And then I realized it's like, oh, wait, there's more to this story.
Yes,
right here.
so
that's fascinating. And also, I ended up being dragged to Indiana Jones 5, and I turned to shit on it.
Oof.
Yeah. The whole internet already went, and it's my turn.
It's finally your turn.
Yes.
She's gonna know how much I love her. It's my turn.
So how was your holiday, man? How was your July 4th?
Well, as you know, I was at work today. July 4th is difficult when you have 3 kids. Even if I was off, if we would have gone somewhere, it's a task taking 3 children somewhere and finding parking. And
I can imagine
the bangs and all that stuff. But you know, I was at work today, had a good day. Saw some picture of my kids jumping on their trampoline. Excuse me. So you know, I'm glad they got to go outside and have some fun. And yeah, man, that's it. 4th of July. You know, we are free of England. Oh, well, some of y'all are free. I ain't free. I
am definitely free of King George, that savage animal.
He ain't never done nothing to you. Remember,
he taxed.
Just whoa, hold on. Just let it go. I don't know why you keep harping on the past. Why do we have to celebrate something like this? Why can't we just let it go?
What?
I'm using the argumentation that I've heard people use in regards to Juneteenth, slavery, and
well, as you know, I throw big parties on Juneteenth. I love Juneteenth. But you're right, letting it go. But that's so stupid because therefore, what are we going to let go every holiday?
Yeah, we're going to forget.
Our Lord and Savior was born. Why don't we just let it go?
We're going to forget everything that's ever happened anywhere, anytime in history. All right. That's the deal.
Okay. Shaolin, he set it off. And so that's why we're going to have to get into it right now. Because that's something I actually put in my notes when I was watching the videos. He said, Can you imagine having Adam22 and his wife as parents?
Wow.
Rebex, the princess, is here. And she says, #fangirls for fanboys.
That's right.
So we got to get into it because I'm sparking thoughts. Shaolin's stimulating my synaptic nerves. Synaptics, that's brain, man. There's no dick up there. I don't have a second dick in my head that I know of.
Well, if he's stimulating it, now you do.
Yo, look at Sheldon. Look at Sheldon.
Always enjoyed me a little coon dance shade.
Oh my God. So you want to start telling the story?
Why should we tell a story when we can show a story? Why do that, right? Because I can't describe it the way it should be described. Yes, I can use words that titillate you and tickle your fancy and get you going and all that stuff. But I figured, why not look at the videos? Because Adam22, owner operator of No Jumper, one of the most popular hip hop interview commentary channels on YouTube, right? They're still doing extremely well after the entire little house phone drama, after AD, Duno, and T-Rel and all those guys left to go start Fig Munity, which is a combination of two channels, which is back on Fig, which T-Rel owns, and Community, which AD owns, and they're doing extremely well. They're doing very, very well, very respectable.
No
numbers.
doubt in my mind that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But people tune in for the drama, and so if you're looking for hip hop, just got to say, hip hop is drama.
Hip hop is drama. It's always been drama. There's always, that's what diss tracks are. That's what battles are.
But that's also
shout out to anyone watching on Rumble, and shout out to anyone watching on Kick. I want to make sure we acknowledge you, even though we can't share your comments or anything.
Share your comments up on our screens because we can put a man on the moon supposedly, but I can't have a simple button that connects my Rumble to my
allegedly
alleged moonwalking.
Alleged. But yeah, so Adam22 for a long time, he's been engaged or in a relationship with a woman by the name of Lana the Plug, right? She's adult film content creator herself, has a wildly successful OnlyFans page, and they actually have an extremely successful podcast, which is called Plug Talk, where they interview female adult actresses, and the premise is a riveting conversation followed then by Adam and Lana having coitus with this person. And they've done this for quite some time, even before they had this podcast. So one of the main staples would be in his early vlogging, like Adam did a video where he, respectfully, as much as he could on YouTube, when he was just primarily still BMXing and just getting started in hip hop commentary, he met up with Lana and a friend of hers and detailed how he got prepared for a threesome. Right. And so this has been a thing, the feminists of her feminist fans have always been like, why does he get to sleep with all these women and you don't get to sleep with a man and blah, blah, blah. And it's a whole thing. So they just recently got married in Italy, by the way, too, man. Looks like it was a beautiful, beautiful wedding, man. I mean, like something that was just absolutely amazing. And then now I'll let Mantis, with that backdrop, Mantis play the videos.
Let's do this. Let us do this.
Let's screw this.
Oh, wait. What am I doing?
What are you doing?
Being a boomer.
I love Arnold Palmer and things I can remember. Okay. That's funny. Someone in the chat over in Kick said, follow X follow.
Follow X follow.
Follow for a follow. And
right.
Santana CG, yo, I just followed you. Follow me back in order for both of us to reach 75 followers to get monetized faster. $16 per hour. Enjoy.
They mean so they can just unfollow you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Freaking animals.
So wait. So this is them. Yeah, go ahead and play this.
Oh, yeah. So they're clearly at some sort of porn convention or award ceremony.
Correct.
Me and my fiance, we have a podcast called Plug Talk where we interview girls and then we sleep with them. What do you think?
I just feel like I would do crazy shit that you guys aren't ready for.
Like, take a shit on the couch or something?
No, no, like the way I
actually,
like,
you racist bastard.
Telling me you're that much crazier than the average woman?
I'm different.
That isn't Tiana Trump. That's just another light skinned black.
Taking over Riley Reed.
So you think we're just?
Well, I know you're.
I'm sorry.
And I know Lena
just
loves women.
I just want to get to know you a little better,
No way! Oh my god!
You should come on.
Yeah.
I should come.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
On the podcast.
Oh, but on what? Like her face, your
On
face?
me.
Did you want to
She's
come on
been no
sometime?
jump
I'm trying to
rope bunny.
initiate it. Like
I
right
would. I
now.
would love to. I would love to join.
It would be so incredible if it already happened.
You know what? They're gonna have to subscribe to find out.
Time travel is real.
All right, so there's that one. Now that's them obviously plugging Plug Talk. Can
The
you
first one was Tiana.
No, it's not Tiana Trump. I know you want it to be Tiana, but Tiana doesn't have braces, and she actually doesn't fuck with them on that level. Like, she did interviews with them, but Adam has begged her to come on the show, and I think Tiana Trump might be stepping out of that world. Now, can you play the next video in the chain directly underneath this?
And I'm surprised that we're not getting crazy comments from our people.
Well, I mean, they're sitting back and they're letting the story unfold. They're letting they're letting it unfold. Ah, we're in the negative. We're in the negative. How was your 4th of July, by the way, man? What'd you do?
I sat in a humid attic and prayed for death.
Okay. Okay. So I sent you an Instagram that shows a picture of their wedding and all that stuff, but I figured you would skip
You want
right
to do
to
that
it.
one first?
No, it's too late. It would have had to been perfect setup. So this is Lana the Plug making the announcement that she's gonna make. Go ahead.
Guess what I'm shooting with today? It's finally happening. Wow, I did not know you were going to do that.
So that gentleman apparently is a very well-known, renowned
Hey guys, guess
Oh wait, I think our stream came to an end on YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah, I just seen a preview of our stream in that thing. Yo, if there's anyone in here, let us know you're still in here.
Yeah. But anyway, let's keep talking. So what were you going to say about her?
Oh no, it's still live. All right. So essentially here's the thing, right? So Lana has done hours and hours of content with Adam, you know, of him having coitus with so many women. And a lot of people were just saying this was bound to happen. This was, you know, this is only right that this happens. And a lot of people calling him a cuck. DJ Academics obviously talked about it today on his show, and then he spoke to AD, formerly of No Jumper, and they're both in agreement in the sense that they don't think that anything that anyone says about this situation is going to upset Adam. For one, he already, you know, he tweeted out, and so did Lana, that this is great for their business, and they are in the business of adult content. 2, this was something he felt slightly jealous over, and then he got over it. 3, he actually had an interview with Sneeko, and Sneeko asked him about it, and Adam basically referred to it as, like, you know, Lana's coming to the twilight of her adult film career, right? And this just seems like the appropriate thing to do while she's still able to do it and monetize it and make money. So for Adam, this is all about content and money. And I just got to ask a question. Are we not thinking about this deeply enough? Now, let me jump out the window and say, no, there is no amount of money that I would want to be paid to look myself in the face and feel like Woody Harrelson in that one movie he made where he let a man sleep with his wife.
Right.
I would not approve of it. I'm not built that
proposal.
way. I'm not that mature. But Adam apparently is that mature, if that's what you want to say, and he's about the dollar.
Okay,
So-
for starters, it's not mature. The word is not mature. Perverted, having no morals, being money grubbing, not actually loving his wife are all ways we could refer to it. But being mature is not the actual answer.
It's 2023, man. Why are you such a Neanderthal, bro?
I'm not a Neanderthal. People are like, why are you kink shaming, Mantis? Now, I'll show you why I'm kink shaming right now. So I realize that it is important that we show the wedding. I should have shown the wedding first. My bad.
No worries.
Let's show the wedding. Right? We're having the Italian
Off of the
wedding.
music. Turn the music off. Turn the music off. Look at this, man. They're in Italy, by the way.
I mean, it is freaking beautiful. Costs a fortune. She looks beautiful, utterly beautiful. And I'm watching it, I'm like, look at these rich people who have an open relationship. And then there you have it.
I would actually venture to say that I would never, looking at Lana, right, if she was with anyone else, I would never assume that that was her career path. I would just assume that she's just, you know, some chick. She just does not have that adult film actress look to her But then obviously when she's got Mandingo standing behind her, then she's
but-
more in character.
So let me ask you, was that their kid? That's the thing I'm
Yes,
pointing out.
they have a child. I believe they have 2 children.
And so that's why Courtney, Shaolin Iceboxer said that about the kid. He says, imagine if they were your parents. And so the funniest thing is the other day, I forget who, you might have been you actually, had shared a meme on Instagram where some kid's like, oh, you stupid. And he's like, oh yeah, well, at least my mom doesn't have an OnlyFans.
Right.
And so that is exactly what's going on. You guys think it's not going to hurt anyone? Having OnlyFans and having other people find it has destroyed children's lives. Right. And so it's not just that his mother is a pervert, this girl's mother is a pervert, her father is too, and they're infamous around the internet. You want to know the perfect reason why not have, I'm going to kink shame totally. And if people are like, you can't kink shame, I reserve the right to shame anyone for any reason. And so they think it's so cool to have an open relationship and be like these hornballs hanging out with these porn stars, inviting them to bed and stuff like that. It is going to fuck their children up.
100%.
It is absolutely going to mess these kids up, and that's the real victim in all this. But first, it's the children, and second, it's going to be the marriage that is unsustainable under an open relationship.
Ooh,
because swinging is fun for a time being, but eventually, always eventually, someone catches feelings. Someone breaks the rules. I've seen it before. I've literally seen it. I have friends like that. They're like, me and my wife have an open relationship. And next thing you know, she likes banging the mailman more than she likes banging him.
So let me ask you a question. Now that applies to people who have morals, but what if your morality, right, is centered in something entirely different? I think that sometimes, man, now not without condoning, I was actually don't switch. Go back to that view because you got to see Whack 100's commentary on this. But what if their morality set does not fit the scope that we're talking about? Now we can both, completely condemn this, but they're working with a different set of principles. Not only are they working on rich people time, they're working on adult actor time, right? They're working on celebrity time, and slowly but surely with things like the, keeping up with the Kardashians and other reality shows, people will become anesthetized and desensitized to this whole entire thing. I'm not saying it's right. I'm telling you,
it's not about right. It's an illusion. This whole thing. I hear what you're saying. That rich people time and adult filmmaker time or whatever. They're living in another dimension. But eventually, they get thrust out of that bubble, and real, actual human problems happen. Look how many. When you look at all the porn stars and stuff like that, they are constantly doing interviews with porn stars who are like, "I wish I never got into it. My life is ruined."
Okay, I want to interject.
And there's very few of them who are actually super happy about.
No, it's very true. But have you ever noticed that there's a common trend between all those adult actors? Their career completely shut. They had no other source of revenue, right? They were not millionaires. They are not. These two are millionaires, and also they're doing it differently. Their shit is behind a paywall. Their shit's behind a paywall of OnlyFans. Now, something interesting happened the other day. I want you to digest this, my brother. Some weird looking mutant human being, God bless her soul, came on the Fresh and Fit show and completely got destroyed would be too liberal of a word, too gracious of a word to use. But the entire chat spent 2 to 3 hours dissing this woman. Not saying that it resonated with her at all. She's an OnlyFans model. You know what happened directly after her being on Fresh and Fit? She had 1,200 new paid subscribers. And someone broke down what the math was with her paywall and her new paid subscribers, and it was an insane amount of money. So apparently, motherfuckers will have strong opinions on this and then still subscribe. Allow me to present evidence. Allow me to present Exhibit A.
Wait, hold on. I gotta interject.
Go for it.
Because what it is that she was lucky enough to be brought on Fresh and Fit, and we joke around about them. We call them morons. They're racist. They're stupid. Blah blah. All this stuff. But they have followers, and so she was lucky enough to get that type of advertising boost. But most women are not.
That's my point to you, my friend. I'm throwing out there that a lot of the people that you hear speaking out in regards to how their porn career went, they never touched millions. They never touched millions of dollars. These two have a business set up behind a paywall, and they're making money off of it. Allow me to present Exhibit A, the Catch Me Outside girl.
Oh, right.
$55 million she made. And she's apparently not doing corn on her OnlyFans page, right? But she made that amount of money. People waiting to see her do whatever she does on her page. My point is this. They live in a reality where the bubble, and we have to accept this as poor people, right? Get ready for a surprise. They live in a bubble that might never get burst.
I think absolute false. I see why you, because what it is your argument right here, you know, no offense or whatever, it's a strong argument, I'll give you that, is that $55 million is going to protect her for the rest of her life, and it's going to be the thing that comforts her. It will be there when she dies. It will replace the idea of having
I never made
of her fellow community.
Wait.
No, no, that's not true.
Wait, I never made those claims. I'm very careful. I'm
not overtly saying you said that, but what I'm saying is I'm pointing out that these are things that she can't buy with $55 million. And eventually, as she gets older and she analyzes her life, she might wish that she might have had an education or a family or had kids, and she's probably not going to have any of those things. She's not even going to have the respect of her neighbors.
If this was not 2020's era, right? If revenue, now I'm not saying that money buys happiness, but what I'm saying is that those women that you described, those adult actors you described, are all living in poverty right now. We've yet to see an adult content creator with millions come out and say, yeah, I wouldn't do it again.
So, for instance, Riley Reid, the second porn star in that video over there that I like so much,
not a millionaire, she's not a millionaire.
She is a millionaire. She is a millionaire, and she claims she's super happy.
No, so you're proving my point then.
No, but what I'm saying is right now she thinks she's happy. Let's see how long that lasts. When the money how many of these people are going to actually invest well and keep that money going? They're probably more
apparently these two are extremely well invested, and they're going to keep a lot of people said the same thing about Kim Kardashian. The closest we've ever heard her say is, I regret making the video. But at the same time, we all know that this is the foundation that this multi-billion-dollar empire is built off of. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's morally wrong. It's disgusting. But I think we need to accept the reality, which is the reality right now. These people may never experience consequences for their actions.
I believe they will. I believe in the longer term, they will. I guess obviously we could place a bet now, but I'm not talking about like a year from now. I'm talking about like 10, 15 years from now. So who knows if we'll remember we had the bet going. But
I'll remember. I keep all my bets and wagers on that wall over there. But
I'm willing to bet. Here's what I'm saying. I will definitely bet. I will definitely bet. I will definitely bet that the girl, the Catch Me Outside girl, her life is going to end in ruins and disgust. She's going to be used up, disgusting, penniless, and angry about it. And someone's going to interview about it.
That's interesting that you say that. You said she's going to be used up, but she's actually been really thrifty and smart with her money.
A couple of years in the game, man. Give it 15 years, she will be a disgusting.
But she's not doing any content that can be comparable to porn. You see, that's what I'm saying. You're begging the question without making.
I'm not saying that you're getting used up by doing porn either. It's just I'm saying my money, from what I know of this girl and her behavior and her mindset, is that she's gonna be used up, whether it's drugs or alcohol or something.
So conjecture at best. We're both using conjecture.
All of us are projecting the future of human lives right now. We're playing gods. We're Lucifer and God right now, betting on Job.
No, I'm not. Well, that's entirely different, by the way. Job was a righteous man, by the way.
And now I've got my money that the unrighteous hoe is going to crash into a wall. Lady, what up? Welcome it.
Let me ask you this question, man. So, how many instances can you point to of successful adult film actresses? And when I say success, I'm talking about monetary, male or female. How many have you seen them come out and say they're regretful of being involved in the industry?
Oh, I see them all the time because there's
no. I said successful. If you're talking about what's her name, what's your baby mama's name, Mila, the woman who did the most, I think, egregious thing, and now is a darling of the liberals. Like pretended to be an Orthodox Muslim while getting plowed.
Oh yeah.
Right. I just want to make sure I hold the liberals in contempt for that, along with Linda Sassoon.
Yeah, she
woman
became
who
the
made
liberals'
it.
friend. They're like, look at her, this poor girl. Rogue Radio, welcome in. We love
Rogue
you.
Radio, what up? Happy 4th of July. See, nah, this generation is probably going to keep her afloat. They're going to keep this girl. I think you underestimate the apathy in which we live in, my dear friend.
So here's what it is. I believe that the new modern ways of making us feel numb
Not
to the world.
Not us. The young generation. That's who Bex is referring to. We are going to feel this way about it.
Right. I meant us as a society, right? They're trying to make us not think or feel, to be wasteful, to believe in the flesh and material over the spiritual, and all these things. And all these tactics, they can only last so long. At the end of the day, because this is all run by Satan. I'm going to be real with you. It's all run by Satan. And at the end of the day, he wants you to feel like shit before you take your own life.
Yeah.
He wants one day that whatever this girl calls herself, she's like bad Barbie, bad baby, whatever. Catch Me Outside girl.
Right.
She will have a reckoning of self-realization when she's older.
I have the perfect rebuttal to this.
Go ahead.
The perfect rebuttal. See, you're thinking about the person who's tricked into their satanic behavior. I'm talking about woeful, willing participants in their satanic behavior. They're like, I do not care about the consequences of the afterlife. I care about this life. Not people pretending like there won't be any consequences, but I'm talking about real Satanists that are like, I'm in it to win it with the big guy.
Right.
Not only am I in it to win it with the big guy, I'm here to corrupt other souls. So you're not taking that shit into consideration. They might be actual agents, not psyops who are like, they didn't know they were being coerced by Satan, but actual willing participants. And I think the gravy train stays out a little bit longer for those that help to corrupt others willingly than it does for the unwilling fool.
Okay. I mean, I hear what you're saying. You're saying like a different type of individual, maybe Lana and Adam 22. And so
he does have an upside down cross on his face, right?
Right. Okay. So yeah, he's a piece of garbage. It's true. He might not reflect on what's going on with his life, but I just feel like it's an unsustainable model, being totally apathetic, not caring about other humans, being a piece of shit, only caring about sex and material things, and just it's gonna burst. I think the bubble will burst. I see what you're saying, why like the statistics are against my theory. The statistics are like, this dude has $100 million. He's not gonna fucking blow it. Everything's fine. He can live the rest of his life having orgies doing this. I just believe
like Hugh Hefner, like the scandal couldn't catch up with him quick enough before he died. He was like, you'll never catch me in this life.
I have a feeling that there were many nights that Hugh Hefner cried himself to sleep in a bed full of money.
I don't think he did, to be honest with you. Real quick. So I just want to point out I just want to juxtapose morality with violence and criminal life, which we call gang life. Now, in case you don't know this, gangbangers are some of the most moralistically conservative people in regards to things like this you will ever encounter. They have no qualms about killing their own. But when it comes to stuff like this, they definitely have morals. You see that confused black man right down there? Go ahead and click on that guy real quick.
Oh, down on the bottom?
Yeah. Give him a quick click.
Audio?
Yeah.
Never hit a fest.
Bro, you talking about?
You should.
No,
you got a little exercise on you. You got to give back to the community.
No, I'm down. I got 10 more pounds. I'm going to get my Bandman Kibo.
He just told me that. I was just in here with Bandman Kibo, and he said Whack 100 about to get the lipo.
Yeah, I'm going first week of September. Man,
well, you never gone morbid.
So Whack 100, he was formerly Suge Knight's driver. He is, kind of the Suge Knight light of this generation. No disrespect to Whack, but he's that guy, right? He's got a lot of fingers and a lot of pies, intimidation, all that type of stuff, right? Whack 100 actually asked Adam, he's like, how could you do something like this? How could you let that motherfucker plow your wife? And that's one of the ongoing comments about this entire thing. I think a lot more people are concerned about Lana's physical innards and her health based on the guy she slept with.
They're worried about her. Oh God. Yeah, so I mean, that's just a salacious detail. So here's the whole thing. My man knew what type of woman he was marrying.
Right.
He knew. He's known for a while probably what a loose ass bitch she is. I do not think there's any cuckoldery going on here. I think that it's open. He's fine. He's cool with it.
It's business.
It's business because he probably doesn't even love his wife. It's all transactional. And as long as her transaction of doing that is bringing drama to, so he can get people at his channel and she can bring in money through the videos, he is fine with it. And he doesn't actually care about the human cost of shit.
Yeah, I just want to give him a quick shout out and not endorse him, but I got to say this, man. Either Adam's a sociopath or he's evolved into the perfect social media figure, man, where he's just like, I don't really give a shit, bro. I'm about this dollar. I'm about this clout. Even when he was talking to Sneeko, I kind of want you to pull that up, man, but it's just so much stuff to pull up because this is a conversation that's been happening. When Sneeko asked him, like, hey, what are you going to tell your kids in regards to this whole thing? He was like, eh. And he basically leaned on the point that we live in a time now where this won't be. And he used, oh man, the wording was excellent. Because of the normalization, because of wokeness, he was like, I feel like wokeness, this is one of the things I enjoy. They've normalized sex work and all these things where it might not be that big a deal. It might not be that big of a deal for my kids to face in the future.
This is what the devil wants from us. That's why they want every woman with an OnlyFans. Sell yourself. Everything's up for sale. It's all good. It's all good. You're not going to feel bad. Plenty of these OnlyFans bitches cry themselves to sleep every night. And they think something's wrong with me. I'm not strong enough to survive this type of life. Why is that? You know why? It's unfucking natural. It's not a natural way of living. It's not what God or Mother Nature. If you don't want to believe in God, fine, whatever. It's not what Mother Nature had intended for you. Mother Nature did not intend women to be passed around by the tribes.
Okay, hold on real quick. I just want to address them in the chat. No radio, Bad Baby did not get married. No need to be confused. We're talking about Adam 22 and his wife, Lana the Plug, who has recently just had her first male interaction in the adult film section in quite some time. I don't know if she did anything prior to that, to be honest with you. Don't forget to like the live, guys. Thank you so much, Bex.
Yeah, Shaolin says that dude looked like a true Mandingo from the bike.
No, from the Booyah tribe.
That video is outrageous. Adam 22 will hold that L until the day he dies. So here's another thing. Why does there seem to be a movement to try to glamour? It's almost crazy. It's almost trying to say like it's okay to glamorize being a cuckold. We got Nico, we got Will Smith, and we got Adam. All these motherfuckers. People are like, it's all good. Your woman should fuck other dudes.
Yo, so here's a little bit of context of the whole Sneeko situation. Apparently, now I'm not endorsing any of this. I'm just providing context. Apparently, that whole situation with Sneeko and the woman in question was in regards to, or at least Sneeko claims that he cheated on her a ton. And this was his way of allowing her some level of get back or, you know, some equilibrium in the relationship and allowing her to have coitus and get plowed at a sex party by other guys. Have you ever seen the movie Son of Sam?
Oh, yeah.
You remember when John Leguizamo's character, completely fictional character, he and his wife went to a sex party and he got his thing on with a young lady. And this is how I always envision this shit happening. This is my fear. This is why I don't participate in this type of shit. He got his shit off with some girl and he's like, yeah, giving her back shots. And he finished. But you know what was continuing to happen after he finished? His wife was taking deeper back shots by some motherfucker with a white mask on.
Yes. Oh my God. I do remember that.
Could you imagine finishing first and your wife is still taking back shots in the background?
You know, I actually did work with a guy. You know, I brought up, I said I had a friend, blah, 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 who had an open relationship. I actually did work with a guy back in my Target days. Right. And he was a dude who he had this smoking hottie for a wife, Russian girl, and he had 2 kids. And the next thing you know, he had an open relationship. He was so into it. Thought it was so cool. These guys were from California. He was very surfer dude, right?
Obviously.
And yeah, and that went south quickly. He found himself babysitting his kids while she's out fucking other dudes. Wow. And she would tell him about it before, and he would cry when she would leave. And he opened those doors. He allowed those doors to be open.
Now, you know what's really cuckoldy about that? Doing an interview years later, trying to get some sympathy. You're still in the cage, motherfucker. You get no sympathy from me, motherfucker.
I'm telling you, for all the guys out there, I got to tell you, If you think it's gonna be cool to have an open relationship and open the door, trust me, she's gonna get more play than you ever will.
But this is something we touched on Pillow Talk, and Bex and I did not agree. But you know, it's one of those things where we won't get into the whole portion of the argument. But this is the red pill position. But some people might say it's been the historical position. And again, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I would not take the fucking invitation to plow bitches in the relationship, because I know eventually it's all going to boil down to her plowing some motherfucker with a 13-incher, right? It's not some moralistic campaign on my part.
Right.
I'm just trying not to breathe John Leguizamo and Son of Sam. Like, you know, my back shot's done. I'm hitting this broad, and then my wife is still over there getting DP'd by two motherfuckers in Tom Cruise mask.
Right. Yeah, right with the pointy nose and shit. Matt Cat, what up? Welcome to the stream, brother. We're talking about some sex crazy shit going on right now. And D says these people are dead inside. I absolutely freaking agree, man. I've been talking shit about these people hardcore this entire time.
So as we click on this next clip, as you know, Sneeko is on his well, we wouldn't call it redemptive arc, but he's becoming closer and closer. What up, Izzy? He's becoming closer in tune to his Islamic faith. So he's swearing off a lot of things. He's making salat more often, 5 times a day. He's talking to imams. You know, he's getting closer in his walk, his deen, as they call it.
Yeah, right.
No, it's happening, man. And whether or not you agree with it, this is the path he's on now. And
this is what he claims to be on. Remember, this could all be
the same thing. The same thing can be said about Christians, right? A lot of like public Christians, they claim to be on the walk. We can't verify that they are or they aren't. But I'll say this, right? The company he's keeping now in those Islamic streets, these men are not to be trifled with. These are men who are about their deen and stuff like that. He's about to say something very interesting, and I want to acknowledge, it could be a hustle, it could be a grift, 100%. More than likely it is. But let's go ahead and play what Sneeko says to Adam.
As a father, and which I didn't expect. I've been watching your content for years, and to see you doing the dad thing, like you're pushing on the swing, and all this stuff, it's really cool to see.
Well, okay, let me put it like this. A long time ago, I was listening to a Joe Budden podcast, and he was talking about how he has a really hard time listening to music at this point, because once you get really into the music industry, it's hard to just listen to a song and not think about the reasons why that song was created. Like, you hear a song and you're like, oh, this is his street song to try to like get the bodegas turned up, and then this is his love song to try to get the girls tuned in. And once you start like realizing that album rollouts are usually very similar, and a lot of these songs are just not really like created holistically,
they're all strategic, and he knows the label side of it. So
and at that point, you grew up loving hip-hop, and now all of a sudden your perspective on it is kind of like, god damn, this shit is formulaic as fuck. And that kind of makes it hard to like just hear music and just feel this like passionate response. And I would kind of say the same thing about sex, where when I think about like the early days of my relationship, I was dying to have different threesomes and crazy out experiences and shit like that. But then once you start shooting porn, and a day at work might be me fucking 2 or 3 different girls with my girl, it's kind of like, it makes it hard for me to understand, like when I see like I hear these stories about rappers or NBA players who are just like chasing like crazy, and they're giving girls all this money per month to be around so that they can pay them more and stuff. And I'm just kind of like, as a dude who's doing this as a source of income, that now seems quite foreign to me.
I mean,
what
seems subtle brag,
like spending your entire life chasing and just like acting like it's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah, it's not. It's just like the biggest waste of time ever.
Yeah.
It's the biggest time suck. It's just not.
Yo, what up? And so Matt Cat says, yeah. Sneeko is religious, and Eliza Blue is religious. Same, lame. I totally agree. All these motherfuckers who are pieces of shit are suddenly pull off the religious. I found religion. I'm not filth anymore. I'm not even scum anymore. Adam 22 is gross. His wife is ran through. Gross. Yes, that is totally disgusting.
Yeah, I want to issue a public but private. Don't send any links in the chat right now. If anyone can find, for your own personal amusement, don't send it to me. Tell me if you can find any videos of Lana with another guy. I challenged some other people to this on Twitter, and I was like, yo, is there actually any footage of Lana in her entire adult career? having a scene with another guy.
Even her OnlyFans doesn't have her sucking dick.
No,
or anything?
her OnlyFans is nothing but her and Adam, or it's her and like it's girl on girl shit. That's what she's known for, is like girl on girl shit. That's why she's celebrated as a feminist. She's like girl on girl. But the feminists started to come for, not her, they came for Adam a little bit, where they're like, we feel like you should set her free and let her experience equality by getting run through by a motherfucker with a 13 and a half.
The Mandingo King coming through, right? Give her a limb. Adam 22 and his whore wife aren't good parents. I'm sorry, that child is going to be made fun of for the rest. Absolutely, I'm going to make fun of that kid. I'm going to be the person to be biased against that girl.
What are you going to show up
in the mud? It says,
you're going to show up to school and make fun of her, add her on Twitter?
Yes. I'm going to be the one harassing her. I'm going to lead the charge at any rate. We're all going to get them, because that's what happens when you have parents who are hoes.
Yeah, this is going to be at the fucking elementary school with overalls on and a hoodie. Like, ew, your mom, ew.
Like, hello, fellow kids. I'm on the skateboard and shit. And I'm going to be doing this because I'm doing this for the culture. I'm doing this shit for the culture, straight up, man. These people with their swinger parents and all that shit, they get zero respect from me.
And that's because you're a victim of swingers. You're a victim of swingers. You're easy prey.
I was traumatized in my youth, like,
multiple times. I'm a victim blamer, and I'm blaming Mantis for every swinger situation he's ever been in. You were showing too much leg. He wanted to come on here tonight without a shirt on, and I was like, "You're just gonna bring all the swingers out again."
It's really hot in this attic, guys. It's really hot.
You see his victim mentality. It's really hot. I need to take my shirt off. All right, hit the playoff.
He says, I heard No Jumpers not doing any again. I think they still have numbers. I can't imagine it really falling off. I know, a lot of people left.
Yeah, they took.
But I have a feeling that the people who are watching AD are also watching No Jumper. I think they're watching.
So the crazy thing is, a lot of people left, right? But those people leaving, and I'm talking about talent, not fans. Those people leaving actually increased the revenue stream of the show, because now he doesn't have to pay their contracts or whatever they had, whatever agreement, gentlemen or otherwise. It's more revenue in his pockets. The show itself, the channel has taken a dip in viewership for sure, but we're not talking about the numbers and the money they make from like repeat views, AdSense, merch, all that type of shit. Yeah.
We also have to remember that every YouTuber is doing worse these days. It's hard out here in these YouTube streets.
Yeah. You motherfuckers thought the COVID numbers would stay around forever. I kept trying to tell people on Spoon, that's not.
Now it's funny watching all these YouTubers hack shitty wares. They're like, and you would think they would never do a commercial, because they're like, I'm beyond the commercial days, and suddenly they're like, this video is brought to you by Blue Blocks.
This community bird by Manscaped.
Right? Raid Shadow Legend.
Get the new custom set. Please.
And I'm like, shut up, Grace Randolph. You don't play Raid Shadow Legends.
You know what? I got to give her respect. I don't think I've ever seen her endorse anything other than
She just started having.
Oh no! How the mighty have fallen.
And before the pandemic, she was doing one of those delivery food services. But you're right, she rarely does it, and now she's doing it. I don't know if it's every video, but I saw it the other day, and when I was like, "Oh, times are tough. The mighty have fallen."
The times are tough. But her numbers, how are her numbers doing? I know she lost.
Well, she ain't never hitting 1 million. That's for sure.
Sub for a sub.
I'm sorry. No, I shouldn't.
Real quick, speaking of paid future endeavors, make sure you check out Mantis on Autolist for all your afternoon delight. Link will be in the description somewhere or in his own personal Discord. Go check out the show. I did a 4th of July special he did aired today. Your boy will get you his start date on Autolist. He's got some paperwork to do, and then we'll be doing music stuff over there on Spin 95, giving you all your backpack, the boo bap, hip hop, nonstop radio host. We gotta do our thing. And shout out to Old Pony. I meant to tell you this the other day. I did Zenful Night. It was on a Sunday, which is always a weird day to stream music on an audio only platform, right?
Yeah.
And Pony and Beck showed up, which I'm not mad at. Anyone shows up, I'm happy about. But then Pony did the most gangster shit I've ever seen in my Discord. He literally dropped in my Discord, to all you motherfuckers that didn't show up to Zenful Night. You ruined my walk for the evening by not, because I ended the stream. I was on for an hour. I was like, hey, there's no one here. Thank you, Pony and Bex, for showing up. And obviously, it's satire, and he fucking says all this way out shit in the stream, and I'm like, yo, this is hilarious. But then a certain person that I'm not gonna name, he's a good guy, responded like, oh my bad, I was busy. And Pony responded, don't let it happen again.
I've got an excuse too. I've got a shitty excuse too. So I was in the city celebrating Penya's birthday, and I just missed.
That is a shitty excuse. You
like, it wasn't until I came home that I saw the link. I came home late, and I was like, oh shit, I missed one. I'm sorry, bro.
I don't give a shit. I was just talking about Pony's response, man. But again, make sure you check us out on Autolist, radio level content. We're going to be doing our thing over there for, a little while. And then make sure you support us over on Kick and Rumble. In fact, do me a favor right now. If you're in my Discord, go click on the Kick link, follow us on Kick. And then if you're in Mantis's Discord, follow us on Rumble. Because the day will come, and it will come sooner than you think, where there won't be any content on YouTube. That much we promise you.
Here's what it is. There won't be any content you want to watch on YouTube.
On YouTube.
There'll be shit on here. I don't know if you want to watch it. Because everything will be edited and banned from you. You can't enjoy talking about sex people. You can't enjoy talking about these prawn people.
We've been entirely insensitive. I realize we're not calling them by their preferred nomenclature.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that phrase.
Say it.
I'm not comparing them to an actual athlete. That is ridiculous.
They are referred to as adult film athletes.
Oh, you're right. I'm not using the phrase athletes. Fuck that.
So you'll call those NASCAR drivers athletes, but you won't call people.
No, I won't call them. I won't call them an athlete. I won't even call a baseball player an athlete.
Oh shit! Shots fired. All right, let's see what the Filipinos saying.
Not worth it.
And the reality is that if you want to have good sex, meaningful sex, you're probably going to get that by having sex with the same woman over and over, and not.
Which is great to see that you've been with hundreds of girls, and you're the one saying that.
Yeah,
it's like everybody inherently knows that, but still, that's the number one thing that's going to hold men back is their lust. I would say the same thing happened with probably with Andrew Tate. He's facing all these charges right now. Mm-hmm. He's completely innocent, but the number one vice that men are probably excused of is lust.
Yeah.
And you see so many countless examples of men going down over and over again. Even the president, Bill Clinton, for example, went down because he was getting some head. That's the one thing that men are not shamed enough for that can really ruin your whole career. Like McGregor's getting accused of R word. Every man, and I've seen this my whole life, and that's why.
And I'm sorry, I saw the video that exonerates him.
Oh, McGregor? Yeah. Well, it exonerates him in regards to grape charges. Does not exonerate him for treating the mother of his children like shit.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. But in terms of what the girl who's really just trying to get a payday out of him, I saw the video of both her going into the bathroom with him willfully, not getting forced in there, and then also still interacting with him after the fact. She's so stupid to think that at a sports arena they're not going to have cameras everywhere.
Yeah, that was a dumbass claim. So, fuck Sneeko, right?
Yeah, fuck Sneeko. Yeah, honestly, fuck all these sex people. Here's what it is.
So I sent you. So first of all, I sent you the link to share in the chat for the Kick stream, right? But I'm also going to reshare a link I sent, and I want you to play it because we got to have a deeper conversation about this before we get into Indiana Jones, because there can be no deep conversation to be had about Indiana Jones. But
no, wait, hold on. What did you say? Oh, okay. To Andrew Tate. Okay, so we'll get into Andrew Tate in a sec. No, first thing I want anyone to do, and I'm sorry, we're just making calls to action, is I want you guys to follow me on Autolist, man. It's not following me, but get Autolist. I'm in the afternoons. I do 4 to 8 p.m. That's drive time. So when you get off of work, if you're into pop music, you want to hear the hits. I play a bunch of synthwave and pop shit. So if you wanted to check that out, check the Fat Mantis out, and soon Steve, real name no gimmicks, is gonna be on Spin 95. That's classic hip hop. And so those are going to be our side hustles for a little bit.
Yeah, that's where we're going to be, man. So obviously you can always catch me on Wednesday nights doing Pillow Talk with Bex. Bex is an amazing content creator on her show. You'll catch me here Monday nights, but then there's going to be radio silence from your boy. Other than that, unless you catch me on Autolist, like that's
actually, what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go back to streaming on Thursday nights. This is interesting. Thursday nights, but it's not going to be Rogue Planet.
What's it going to be?
So I have yet to have a name for it, but basically here's what it is. I'm going to be real with you guys, and it's not that I'm quitting entertainment covering, but I got to tell you, the entertainment industry depresses the shit out of me. It depresses the absolute shit out of me. I don't like Marvel movies anymore. I don't really like DC movies when I like them. I don't like, here's the whole thing. I loved Flash, but also it left a bad taste in my mouth because it's Ezra Miller. You know what I mean? There's all this crazy, horrible stuff going on in the industry. Right. No, they don't make good movies. Lucasfilm has destroyed every franchise for me. Nothing is fun to do, and I'm just not enjoying doing nerd stuff anymore.
So what are you going to be doing?
So what it is, I'm going to have all the topics that you can only cover them so much on Autolist. When you're on a radio DJ, you can only do a smid bit. I'm going to talk about that. So it's going to be entertainment, but it's going to be a lot of music stuff. It's going to be stuff about actual celebrities and stuff like that. It won't be just confined to the idea of nerd movies and comic book movies because it has run its steam. I don't know if I can stomach another Star Wars again. You know, I don't want to see that Rey movie. I'm sorry. I have to put my foot down.
You know what? It might actually help you to fall back in love with these things. I find that when you have to cover something and be critical of it, and be pragmatic about it, you're looking at it no longer as a fan. You're like, I'm looking at this as a critic, as someone who has to observe this in a different capacity.
Right.
Might do you good to get out of this space. Now, obviously, over at Conversations That Matter, we never talked about no nerd shit. We only talk about the type of shit that depresses you.
Yeah, you were very depressing, very serious group of people. On Conversations That Matter, we're going to talk about someone who did blah, 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 blah. And at the end, you're like, what? It should be a Netflix documentary. Not like, I'll talk about Henry Cavill and all these guys. But it's not going to be the main focus.
Bro, I'm so out of touch. I didn't even realize Witcher season 3 had premiered.
Everyone hates it. That's another. Here's what it is. Things premiere so that everyone hates. Why would I want to cover this?
They hate everything but Henry Cavill in it. They hate everything about the show except Henry Cavill.
Yeah. And spoiler alert, you guys are about to hear my
episode. 5 episodes, Mantis.
It's only 5.
It's only 5 episodes.
Even another reason to hate it. You know what I'm saying? Spoiler alert, guys. I hated Indiana Jones 5. Yeah, I'm about to review it. You're going to hate the shit that comes out of my mouth about this thing. And so, I don't know, Matt Cat covers it, and I'm so proud of Matt Cat that he can stomach and he does it, he stays with it. But I don't know how you do it, Matt Cat, because there's so much bad stuff out there.
Matt says, Witcher season 3 is too confusing. I have no clue what's happening. I totally get why he left. Yeah, man. I mean, the Witcher lore is thick, but it's not that dense where you can't understand what's going to fuck on. It's clear that it's 5 episodes because he wasn't invested anymore. They were fucking with him they were fucking with him and they were fucking with source material. So why not split?
Matt Cat says real quick off topic, but did you see YouTube has now made it that you only have to have 500 subscribers, which I have, and 3,000 public watch hours in order to monetize? You guys can get there. I know you can. I bet you I'm already there.
I think I am too.
I think you're probably just, are you sure? Have you hit 500 yet? I think you're probably might be just shy of 500,
right? Yeah, I'm at 443.
You're a few videos away, bro.
Forget everything I just said. Yeah, we're selling out. We're fucking on YouTube.
We are fully down. YouTube, I'm down. I'm sorry. I doubted you, baby.
I love you, babe. I know you took those 2 13-inch dildo. Oh, wait.
Right, exactly. Matt says also Grace does HelloFresh. Yes, that's true.
So I got to tell you, when I was independently wealthy, I also subscribed to HelloFresh, and I really knew I had arrived. Like it was delicious. I only ate half the plate and I threw the rest away. Not because it was disgusting, you understand, but because being rich means I don't ever feel hungry.
Don't you love it when you're making money and you're just blowing it on shit? Like, for instance, when I was making money during the pandemic, I used to subscribe to YouTube. Like, I used to pay them not to have commercials.
I still pay them not to have commercials. That's mostly
can't afford
that's mostly for the music thing. That's mostly for the music thing.
I can't afford that shit, man. I can't afford that shit.
Well, they switched to embedded, just like Twitch. You just don't know they switched to embedded. So you think that pop-up blocker is working? No, some shit's gonna get through.
Witcher season 3 is too confusing. I have no clue what's happening. He says. Laney says, I'm sad to see him go, but yeah, it was honestly boring. And that's what I'm saying. Content nowadays. It's funny we kind of fell from the Sneeko thing. We'll get onto the Andrew Tate thing in a sec. But it's I can't. There are very few things that I look forward to anymore. I'm not looking forward to.
Old Pony, what up? What up? What up? Thank you for coming through.
Old Pony, what up, homie? Live that dream. There's very few things that I look forward to. Like, I really love Star Trek right now. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. And that's about it. Like, in terms of nerd culture stuff, I can't stomach watching another Star Wars the way they butcher it.
Actually, I would like to issue a challenge right now.
Okay. What you got?
And I mean this with all sincerity.
Okay.
Because I don't say things I don't mean. You know that I lack the ability. The bullshit. This is why I can't move up in corporate America. They're like, Steve agrees with me. And I'm like,
he's like, I couldn't do it. I'm too real.
Suck a dick. Like, I can't do it. I tried to fucking do it. But Laney, put your camera on. Take your mic out. There's content for you to cover, Laney. You need to get back on the saddle. That's a personal challenge with love to Laney. Your show was not confined to that fucking Korean app. Put your camera on, Laney. Put your mic on. Get out there. Give us some content. We'll be waiting for you. At any rate, here's what I want to say about this fucking.
Wait, I want to personally say that I agree with this man right now. I'm backing his statement. I've never been allowed to say it because, like, you know, I was your streaming partner and I didn't want to, like, Laney. You know, I didn't want to overstep my bounds, but someone had to say it. Get the fuck back on the horse. We love you.
Get back on the horse, Laney. Get back on the horse. All right. So moving on to the next bit of our topic now. Obviously, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have been mired. Beck says, I just canceled HelloFresh. Food was great, but customer service was trash. Oh, they're horrible. They're like, if you're calling us right now, you're too poor to deal with your own problems. D says, do y'all watch Apple TV content? Been getting into it. Some good shows lately. A lot of great stuff on Apple TV. The problem is, D, no one's watching it.
Yeah, it's, you know what? Here's the thing. I think Apple TV, it skews to a much richer crowd, and therefore it's totally bizarre.
Yeah.
Like the morning show, everyone's like, it should win. It's winning awards. And I was like, it is the most boring show I've ever seen in my life.
But apparently it's really good. People love it.
I'm saying, if you're white and you're stuffy and you like Jennifer Aniston, you're gonna
you
love
watch
it.
That one show about Fox News, fucking on
Succession. Yeah, I love that. That's white and stuffy, but it's you know, it's got a little spice to it.
Okay.
But here's what I'm saying.
Also, I'm issuing another challenge. D-Love. D-Love. Get your mic, get your camera. Get back on the fucking saddle. All right?
Yeah, D, get on the fucking mic, yo. What is up, yo? What is up with D Love?
What's going on?
And Laney's taking the challenge. She says, guys, okay. I might actually. Okay, cool. D's into this too. Okay, everyone's getting challenged today. So if you're in this room, you're probably gonna get challenged by Steve.
Yo, bro. So real quick announcement. Pillow Talk, I believe, is gonna go live video this week. In case you don't know, Bex has been doing this for over 6 months, man. Honestly, there's no real reason for me to be on the show other than Bex allows me to be on the show, right? She carries a great conversation and does amazing things with Pillow Talk. She always does great research, commentary. So, you know, that's all I'm gonna say there.
Wait, are you saying you're leaving the show?
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all.
What are you saying?
I'm fucking amazing. I'm just saying Bex is amazing. All right, so let's get into this.
I gotta say this.
No, don't say it.
No, yes, things to be said. I gotta say, working back on Audioless, I'm loving being back on just audio, and there's no pressure for any camera, and I just love that. It's just like audio is my shit.
You were gonna go shirtless tonight. What was that all about?
I'm sweating up a damn storm like a
You're not
psychopath.
sweating even at this moment. I don't see one bead of liquid.
Man, I keep going like, oh look, this piece of glycer. The glycer.
Look, he's like, oh, look, I'm sweating. The director was mean to me. Ezra Miller tried to kidnap me. All right.
Oh my god, man! I'm
Can we play
serious.
this video from-
I keep wiping shit off my face. You don't see this?
Pause. Can we play this video from my 2 favorite mulattoes?
Okay.
You were
I
one of my
assume the
favorite
video is
mulattoes.
about me.
You were one of my favorite mulattoes, but you've dropped to number 3.
Oh fuck you, Andrew Tate. He doesn't have shit on me. More.
Oh, here at Fanboy Modeling School, we gave up on the structure. You guys know that this show used to be so structured, like it was edited at one point. We were pre-recorded and like just so professional before. Now it's just 2 old men screaming into the mic. Mantis still has not gotten a sticker to cover up his blue endorsement, who we don't get paid by the way.
Fucking animals. Sorry. We're gonna get back into structure any minute now. And another thing, those damn Ukrainians. Sorry.
Bro, we didn't talk about that. What the fuck is up with the coup in Russia?
Oh my god, we could talk about serious shit if you wanted to.
No, I don't really want to, but I will say this:
We have to talk about affirmative. We are not letting our Independence Day special end without talking about the fact that they have now destroyed affirmative.
Everyone fucking sad by talking about affirmative action. But I did watch the first 2 episodes of Secret Invasion, and I'm sorry, Mantis, it's good. I'm sorry, bro, it's good.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but it's not going to get the numbers because they've alienated us all.
Objectively, it's good. It's a great show, just like Hell's Paradise that no one's watching.
Nothing is ever objective with you. You always have an agenda.
Yeah, to stop stupid people from breeding, but I don't think that's
Okay, here goes. Andrew Tate on Twitter. Ready?
Make it larger. Make it larger. Pause.
Is it larger?
Yeah.
We learned today that a federal judge in Nevada has thrown out a rape lawsuit against soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo.
The Portuguese star denied.
Of course, they got to use the R word immediately, right?
Raping a woman in a Las Vegas hotel 10 years ago.
But he's calling this whole story, and I quote, fake news.
Fake news.
Back in 2005, in a different case, Ronaldo was arrested on suspicion of rape. He denied all claims, and those charges against him were dropped due
Yeah, rich, famous guys seem to always get those accusations, don't they?
It's strange.
to insufficient evidence.
They want to be famous to say my name. It's part of the job.
Why is she coming forward now? She has been emboldened by the Me Too movement, and she wants justice.
Emboldened.
Children would have to go to school and have their friends approach them with the infamous People magazine cover with
Amber Heard's raw and emotional testimony was.
I'm telling you, those 2 are going to get together any day now. Any day now. That is the love story of the century.
Who?
Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. They are going to get back together. It's going to cost him what little money he makes back. He won't even have bus fare when she's done with him.
Yo, allegedly, allegedly, she was last seen after this case shopping in Ross.
Right. No, I saw that people were following her, and like they're like, look at her, she's at a TJ Maxx, and then she kept going to like discount stores. Yeah, that's what they claim. I believe it.
You shall not pass.
I wonder if she's ever shopped at a poor person store before, though. I doubt it. She wouldn't know
Well,
where
this
those places
outfit screams poor person right here.
are. I bet it's wealthy. No,
this screams poor person.
Let's see what bullshit she's shoveling.
At times painful to watch.
I thought, this is how I die. It's going to kill me now.
She accused Depp of brutally sexually assaulting her.
Oh my God!
Quote, the performance of her life.
Her testimony, as you said, has been very emotional. I think the jurors are likely feeling sympathetic to her.
heinous accusations of violence, sexual violence, ridiculous, humiliating, ludicrous, painful, savage, and all false. All false.
He ripped my dress. He's like grabbing my breasts.
He's
He's
got on a
touching my
fucking big and
thighs.
tall outfit.
He rips my underwear off, and then he proceeds to do a cavity search.
Yeah, she's not even believable.
Breaking news out of the United States. There has been a verdict in a trial watched by millions around the world. Virginia jury has found that Amber Heard defamed her ex-husband Johnny Depp and has been ordered to pay $15 million in damages.
One of the most popular athletes in the world facing allegations of sexual assault. The Wall Street Journal reports Nike cut ties with soccer superstar Neymar last year. In 2016, a Nike employee told friends and colleagues that Neymar tried to force her to perform oral sex.
Nagia Trindade has appeared on Brazilian TV with accusations that she was raped.
He was aggressive, completely different from the person I got to know in the messages.
She claims that the incident in a Paris hotel last month was an assault together with rape.
Police in Brazil have charged a woman who accused the international footballer Neymar of raping her in a Paris hotel in May with perverting the course of justice. The woman and her former husband have been accused of lying to police and attempting to blackmail the player.
Controversial influencer Andrew Tate has been arrested in Romania on suspicion of human trafficking,
rape,
and forming an organized crime group.
I had lived with Andrew for years and years, and he would never do anything like this. He is not a human trafficker. He would never rape anybody. I'm just so shocked, and I'm so fed up with all of these lies, and he does not deserve any of this.
First of all, I would like to start by saying that there are no victims in this case. It all started April last year in 2022 when two girls that lived in
Okay, so here's the weird thing about this situation, right? So the two girls that you see, yes, they are the accusers in the human traffic case. Two of them. This woman that you hear speaking is the other victim. She's the other victim. Yeah, the woman on his side and other women on his side are the other victims. And in case you didn't know this, and I'm not claiming his innocence or his guilt, but these women are saying, no, this never happened. But Romania is prosecuting on their behalf, saying, no, they are victims. Whether they say they are or not, we declared them victims. I just felt like I should add that context.
Yeah, no, that is messed up that happens. That whole system. That's not a perfect system.
No.
You know, it happens here in the States too. You know, just like our man Jonathan Majors, right?
Crazy shit.
my home with me, locked themselves in their room and claimed to be held their hostage. But here's the
These are
fact.
the victims, by
When
the
the
way.
authorities and the police raided our homes, they forgot to mention that the key was in their room, on their bed. The police know that there was no crime, and they are holding the Tate brothers locked with no evidence because they think it's good for Romanian politics. Now, the other two victims that the police claim to be involved in this case are me and Beatrice. We have been given 3 statements clearly saying we are not victims, but our statements keep getting thrown away. The police don't care about the truth. Instead, they choose to listen to 2 girls that went on a luxurious vacation on the French Riviera a week or 2 after being rescued for whatever they claimed to be. Another fact is that the police threw away the surveillance footage from the house because they don't consider it evidence that proves that those girls were able and were going for walks. They were going out of the house with their phones whenever they wanted, wherever they wanted. We want justice.
To see what's happening right now makes me extremely, extremely upset.
I can say now with confidence that these guys are not capable of such nonsense, what police says and news say. I'm Ukrainian refugee. It was Tristan who helped, not only me. At 6 a.m., 10 people raided my house. They took all my devices. You can imagine how much I was scared. They are purposefully trying to pressure me to make them guilty. I can say that the court is trying to manipulate the girls, saying only what is beneficial to them. That due to lack of evidence, they are trying to extract any information against them.
I am not a victim. Beatrice is not a victim. There are no victims in this case, and there is no crime.
The prosecution has no evidence to support their claims, and they will find no evidence that there is no truth to this allegation.
No, I've never been threatened. If I was ever threatened, I wouldn't be stupid enough to stay in that house.
Everything you're seeing in the news right now is all false accusations. He's always been respectful of me and others around him. I think the media is just portraying a really bad image of him right now, and it's not fair. I think it's a little concerning to see how easy it is for the media to sway people into believing lies and stuff that isn't true.
If this happens to them, I am worried this can happen to anyone at this point.
Okay, so it's me feeling strongly about this is not about Andrew Tate. I don't know this motherfucker. If he's guilty, he's guilty. If he's innocent, then these bitches need to be locked up, right? Here's my issue, right? I've been a monster in the past. Never this type of monster, but I've been a monster in the past. But I have a close friend that we're going to call Mr. X, who has been falsely accused of this bullshit. And my biggest issue with this type of stuff is he didn't do any of this stuff, but was forced to take a plea deal due to lack of funds. Like most motherfuckers
Right,
in
you
jail.
can't afford a good lawyer. A lot of legal aid. No offense to legal aid guys. There were some guys who were really good.
No
Remember,
disrespect. No
you-
disrespect.
you have to find someone who cares, and they don't always care. Sometimes they're overworked, and they will often say you need to take the plea. I had a situation where an accusation was made about me that was not what was absolutely false. And thank God I got a legal aid guy who really cared. He like super fucking cared. He's like a good
Right.
guy. And so I remember him just teaching. I learned a lot about life from that false accusation. It was an ex-girlfriend. She said some shit that we were able to definitively prove did not happen. Just put it like that.
Yeah.
And so I feel you. I'm rough through it. So here's not the problem, because I'm saying they need to have real evidence.
Right.
They need to not police should not be fucking railroading anybody. But here is the problem in our society, and it's every society. It's not just Romania, it's America too.
Right.
That sometimes when you have the bad boy image, you become easy to frame.
100%.
Yeah. Tate's image of him just being a piece of shit, like he's like, fuck bitches, make money. You can push these bitches around, you can do whatever. It can easily lead to somebody being like, he is so easy to frame right now.
And that's the problem with the overall message from that side of the table, right? Which is there's got to be a deeper undertone to it, which you got to be guiding people towards something. And if what you're guiding them towards is like Bugattis and all types of dumb shit, like you set yourself up. I'm not an Andrew Tate apologist. I am, however, the type of person that says I don't want to see any person catch smoke that they didn't catch, man. If you've never been caught up in the legal system before, I don't wish it on anyone. And I don't wish anyone being victimized and their victimizer getting away with it. I just think that the conversation gets hijacked by people who have interest outside of the truth, and we just want the truth, right?
So, seriously, you know what's crazy about this? And like, I'm not trying, I'm going to do my best not to judge certain political parties and say they do this more than others. But like, I would say that even if someone had a political difference of me, or there's some loudmouth who hates everything I am, I still wouldn't want them to be railroaded.
No.
Like, what kind of person would be into that?
No, absolutely. I'm with you.
They're a Trump supporter. It's all right that they get framed. That's a fucking tragedy. That's a freaking tragedy in society that would happen.
Bro, look at Cuomo. Look at Cuomo.
Cuomo's a great example. Thank you so much. It's
Oh
so
my
funny.
fucking
Before
goodness.
all this stuff went down, I literally hated Cuomo.
I hated that, man. I was like,
Oh
the
my-
Q-tips.
Every morning
I
having
do
COVID
enjoy his younger brother. I don't agree with any of his political views, but I enjoy his younger brother.
His younger brother is funny.
He's
yeah,
one of
that's-
those. He's like an around the way type of I'll fuck you up type of guy.
Yeah, exactly. And so however, the whole thing is when the Cuomo shit happened, And I think I told you this a little bit of the story about it had to do with Spoon. So when it was happening, I was watching the thing, and I would hear the way the news people would talk about it, and they would avoid giving details. And when I would hear what the details were, I'd research them, and I'd be like, "So let me get this straight. He's at work. He asks a woman out. She says no, and that's harassment. Like what?" Well, and none of them were actually true harassments. Clearly, he's being railroaded for something. I have a theory as to why he was being railroaded, but I'm not going to get into it. But
actually, you know what's funny? I can't get into details here, but Mantis and I share a workspace, and we talk privately. And Mantis, I'm going to be responsible about this, but Mantis knows that right now, currently, there are 3 situations where if I wanted to, I could scream harassment at work. Am I lying, Mantis?
No, you are absolutely right. You could absolutely.
if I wanted to, I could be like, yo, I feel uncomfortable. These scenarios make me this line of questioning, but for the most part, I don't do it because one, I know that I think it's generalized conversation, right? My issue is just this, man. When you were going through your situation there, it made me think about my own situation, but different, right? I took a plea deal in life on a criminal charge that had nothing to do with sexual abuse or anything like that. I just couldn't prove my innocence, even though I knew I was innocent.
Right.
I could not prove it, and now it's a stain on my record.
Right.
And I think about how many people.
That's fucking horrible. And obviously, no human society can have a perfect system. I'll say that. But it is horrible. Like there's a bunch of things that's wrong with policing. One of them is quotas,
right?
And one of them is making a name for the bust, right?
Right.
So once again, I'm just gonna say it, and I hope you don't get offended by it. You actually fall into an example of you were easy to not frame, but easy to railroad.
Oh,
because like, look at this guy. Look at how he lives his life. He must be guilty, and he can't prove that he's innocent.
Right.
And so he's just like, he's got tattoos, he's black, he's from the hood, he hangs out with certain people, bam, it's over.
Right. And that's 100%. And that's 100% what happened. And I'm not a guy that was facing any sexual charges. I want to make that clear.
No, that was some other shit.
Yeah.
But like it's all fucked up. There is no perfect system, I'm not gonna lie, but it's unfortunately that their cops are motivated to actually make arrests and bring people down rather than actually reveal the truth. Like they should get rewarded for finding the truth.
Yeah, 100%. What happened to the Dick Tracy era? So before we close the segment out, obviously we can only say allegedly, and we have to be responsible as content creators. The Jonathan Majors situation is very peculiar to me. I have no idea what's going on here anymore.
Yo, he must have fucking pissed somebody off, some political rival or some shit,
bro.
Because they're doing everything in their power to railroad this motherfucker. Like they are not letting him speak. They're not letting his evidence be heard.
Pulling old fucking. There's audio evidence of the police basically coercing this woman into saying he did it. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's madness. The one thing that is very peculiar to me is that Marvel has not outright dropped him. And they're not an altruistic company. So there's only 2 reasons that they wouldn't drop him, in my estimation, right? Just my opinion. 1, the unlikely. They think he's innocent, right? They think he's innocent, and they're like, he didn't do this. 2, the more probable, which is he probably didn't do this, and we want to drop him, but the evidence suggests that he didn't do it, and we would be setting ourselves up for a Johnny Depp WB type lawsuit if we publicly drop him.
That's the one. And so remember, corporations don't care if you're innocent or you're guilty. They don't give a shit about that. What they care is about your money making potential. So if he looks guilty, they don't want to back him. However, even if he's innocent and he looks guilty, they're still like, fuck you, bro. We gotta drop you now. But they're waiting to see how the winds go. And that's what's horrible about this situation. He doesn't even they do not have his back at all. What they're waiting for to see is, how does this look? Yeah, because I think they're worried that they're like, if we cut him loose, people will say we're racist. Right. However, we back him and he's found guilty, people will keep bringing up not only that we're groomers, but that we backed an assault that guy who beats women.
Yeah,
So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
and
brother.
imagine, think about it this way. Your boys, right? You have a boy who's a total flip-flopper who waits to see how the turn of the battle goes before he decides what side he is, whether he has your back or not.
Bro,
That's
so you
insane, right?
basically described the last season of Game of Thrones and why it sucked. And that's what I'm talking about with the Jonathan Majors thing, right? Disney is not supporting him because they think he's innocent, but they're like, yo, he might actually be innocent. And if we take a hardline stance on this, I'm not going to use terms like woke or anything like that. They saw what happened with the Johnny Depp situation. Speculation on my part. Johnny Depp, and this is the craziest part. So to all you psychopaths that said Amber Heard was exonerated in a European court. No, Amber Heard was never on trial in the European court.
Yeah,
it was actually
exonerated.
it was the tabloids that were on court, and they are notoriously hard to hold in any level of what's the word I'm looking for? You can't hold them accountable. It's almost impossible, right? It's almost impossible. But when the light and the scrutiny was switched to her, and did she defame Johnny Depp? It was clear that she had, right? It was clear that she personally defamed him. Same thing is going to happen with the Jonathan Majors thing, in my opinion. We're looking at a situation where everyone used a little bit more discernment, right? And they were like, wait, Jussie Smollett, Amber Heard, we should probably pull back a little bit and see how this turns out, right?
By the way, have you heard about everything with Ellen Page?
Is that Juno?
Yeah.
Let me make my point before we get to Juno. Because that's one of my. Yeah, I gotta tell you honestly, man.
They're calling her the trans Jussie Smollett.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just want to say something, man. Juno is one of the greatest movies ever made, man. I think it was the end of an era, right? Scott Pilgrim, Kick Ass. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Mantis. Juno set it off. And anyway, Jonathan Majors. These motherfuckers went back to his school days and said, not that other people had accused him of physical violence, but of toxic behavior.
And I love how they don't give specifications. They're like, he's had toxic behavior. What is toxic behavior? Name the fucking thing. I love how, you know what it is? And that's another thing, that the horrible part about our era, the internet era, right? Or the late internet era, is that people just hear vagaries and they go by it. So when they hear about, and like, let's say they're talking about Cuomo, right? And they're like, well, I heard that he's toxic around women. And I'm like, does that mean he's a rapist? You need to define your terms. What do you mean toxic about women? What are you talking about? And later on we turn out he's a single man who likes getting with chicks. That's not a fucking crime. If he's asking girls out and he's making out with women in his office, that's not a crime. Forcing them to do something like that is, but just being that guy is not criminal. However, they love to these vagaries where it's like a crime.
Yo, real quick. We got 6 people in Kick. We got 5 subscribers.
What up, kickers?
We need to
holler at your boy.
Here's my deal, man. Here's my deal, man. And again, in case you didn't know, Mantis is the friend I was referring to. He outed himself. I don't know what made him do that.
No, you know what it is? I'm completely fine with my past.
Right.
And here's what it is. If we are all trying to fight for the truth, I am totally fine with talking about my past and my whole situation. And that doesn't bother me. If someone wants to hate on me or judge me on that, well, then fuck them.
Fuck them.
I don't need them as a fan.
Fuck them like Adam 22's wife, right? So my issue with this entire thing is, if Jonathan Majors is guilty, then I want to see him, these women that woman deserves justice. If he is innocent, his accuser needs to experience justice. I don't want acquitted, right? I want that woman to face justice for trying to steal this man's life. And I'm not talking about this in some quote unquote woke way. You accused him of one of the most heinous crimes publicly. You need to pay for it publicly and privately.
Well, yeah.
Also, go for it, brother.
But what about the idea that the police coerced her?
They also should be held accountable. Let me tell you something real quick, and I can't get into my own personal charges. I've had 2 situations in my life, man. One of them for sure, I know I was getting framed. I've been questioned by police multiple times for my dealings in life. But the one time I know for a fact I was innocent, one time, Mantis, the one time I was questioned by cops multiple times. And each time they questioned me, they were like, just, kind of did this thing where they were like, just say it. Say it and we'll work with you.
What the
And I'm like, yo, I didn't fucking do this. Like, pause. I ride all my beefs. But they really tried to push me. They were like, yo, this is probably in your best interest to say it. And I wonder how many men conjecture.
No, this is Central Park 5 right there. They were like, say it and you can go home. Say it, you can go home.
See, here's the one thing they weren't counting on my thing. I was like, let me see. So what you're saying is I admit to this and I get this? Nah, fuck it. Let me get the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'm going to go to court. Like, fuck that shit. You're never going to get me to fucking admit to this bullshit.
You know how many people fall for this shit? These fucking tactics of the police, it's fucking horrible, man.
Bro, I fell for it once, and now I have a charge on my record of fraud I can never get off. Like, I mean, it's off now, but it almost cost me a job back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say this. In regards to the Jonathan Majors, Tristan Tate situation, before we judge, let's let the evidence roll out, because the entire Kavanaugh situation, I don't support Kavanaugh and his policies, some of his policies at all. Like, I don't believe with a lot of his political stances. And when they get into why I don't agree with him on some of his political stances, but I also don't agree with witch hunches, like what witch hunt is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense that we watch this entire procedure roll out, and it was clearly a political maneuver. So with that said, let's get to affirmative action.
We're talking about it. I'm excited.
Here we fucking go.
So we're going to piss so many people off.
So to narrow the scope, we're not talking about affirmative action as a whole. We're talking about
emotional damage.
Sorry. Go on.
So we're talking about affirmative action as in regards to college admission.
Right.
Like admissions, right? So the Supreme Court, in a way that I think that legally they were never meant to be used, but this is the standard now, has rolled back affirmative action in regards to college admissions and how affirmative action is applicable to that. Can we agree that that is the scope in which it was rolled back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we're not talking about affirmative action in regards to hiring procedures, which could be
or anything like that. It's just regards college. And so do you want to talk about your feelings about it, or like what?
So before we get to my fucking feelings, we should talk about the fact we should talk about Clarence Thomas, who is on record of saying that he's he benefited from affirmative action. Is this a point of historical record? Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, I think it is. I think it absolutely is. I don't think it's a doubt that he benefited from affirmative action.
Okay, so the contention, the evidence that's being presented is that affirmative action in regards to college has negatively impacted the Asian American community.
Right.
That, let me use my words correctly, less than deserving, no matter how you want to quantify that, African American or Black students, African American being born in America of African descent, and others from the great continent of Africa, but by way of the Caribbean and stuff like that, have been taking spots from Asian Americans. Now, that's not to say that's what moved the Supreme Court. That is the conversation being presented in social spaces. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
All right. So here is my
issue. You start screaming. I love how you stand up. Can we agree? You're totally calm, and now you're just gonna explode.
So here's my issue, right? I am a man of consistency and logic, right? And I know this wasn't on the ballot to say. had they removed legacy people whose parents are alma mater of colleges, who, these children should not be in these colleges, but because they're legacy candidates, they were allowed through the admission process, then I would have been okay with it.
I want to point something out, though. I want to point something out.
Go for it.
They can only address the case that has come before them.
100%. That's why
they can't do other shit too. And they're like, by the way, we're all gonna ban this shit too. No, like
that's why I said what was on the ballot. That's why I said what was on the ballot, right?
So they probably will get to that eventually, or maybe they won't because they like that idea.
I think there is just as much of a chance that they'll get to that as Bad Baby in 5 years saying, I regret my decisions. Now that I have 500 million.
No, 5 years from now, she is going to say, I regret everything. She's going to be penniless. She's going to be drunk on the street. She's going to be given hand jobs in the parking lot of Disney Park. Gonna believe it, friend. Just like they're going to renege on this whole thing. This is nuts. This is totally nuts.
It is nuts. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you feel as if, though, so here's the what some people might consider the unsubstantiated fear, right? Do you think that this is the precursor to us heading back to Jim Crow era?
No,
so
no.
Let me qualify that. Once I was having
Okay,
a very heated debate with a good friend of mine who shares a lot of political and spiritual beliefs as myself. And I said, hey, man, let me ask you a question, man. If they were to remove the protected status of African Americans today, do you believe that I would be safe? Your friend, not the African American community, but if they were to remove the protected status of African Americans or black people in America,
are you?
No, hold on.
You,
I was gonna take a shot at your people group. Let me roll it out.
Okay.
To all you Caribbeans.
You're saying you live where you live.
Wait, shut up. If they were to remove my protected status and vie away the protected status that my ancestors got for all you fucks.
Don't look at me. Fuck that shit.
Because let's be real, right? The protected status that was earned by the blood of African Americans is enjoyed by many people groups that are not African American. I'll leave it there. You simmer.
Okay, so basically,
would you agree with that? Would you agree that the protected status that many people in America enjoy came at the blood of African Americans?
Yes. However, I would say in my particular situation, my ancestors were Haitian slaves, and they just simply didn't get transferred to America yet. So they too have felt the same brawn. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come to Haiti for a tourist trip. Yeah, there's definitely.
I gotta find my kufi. I gotta eat my kufi. I'll be right back.
My ancestors didn't come to the island of Haiti, Hispaniola to hang out. It was certainly at the end of a lash. Oh man, he really had one. You really had one. I thought you were joking.
I couldn't find my kufi, but I got my 25-cent medallion.
Remember back in the day in the 90s that every dollar store was selling those things?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We all were getting them. My mom.
This has nothing to do with tribalism. This is actually for Zulu Nation and for the hieroglyphics. But at any rate,
we all
it's been repealed.
South Africa and stuff. That was the shit.
It's been repealed. So affirmative action in regard to the admission process into colleges, higher academia, been repealed, been rolled back by the Supreme Court. What does this mean moving forward? What are your thoughts, bro?
Okay, so I'm going to be real. At the cost of a argument or a fight, I believe that every type of regulation that ever exists needs to have an end date or a reevaluation date.
Okay.
It should not exist forever. And I think that this is a case of that. I was fine with affirmative action for all these many years. I think it's fine for us to stop it and then evaluate what happens. Now, if this turns into a total slide where black people just simply aren't being educated at all, I would be like, bring that shit back. Right. But at the time being, I would be like, let's see how it goes. Did the other 20 years or 30 years of affirmative action fix things? Maybe it did. But I certainly don't think that, for instance, affirmative action theoretically should exist forever. Right? Imagine 100 years from now. Should there still be affirmative action in 100 years? 200 years? Like, how long does it go on?
So I want to quote a pastor by the name of Brian Lorettis, right? And
He sounds like a racist.
He's a black man.
Blacks can be racist too. Just ask.
I was just about to say, which does not exclude him from the sin of hatred, right? But he said something very interesting in regards to affirmative action and civil rights movement era stuff. While the civil rights movement was successful in changing the laws, it was not successful in changing hearts. And this is what happens when you impose laws and mandates on unchanged hearts. Eventually, the pendulum swings back the other way, and then people want to repeal stuff because their hearts have not been changed, right?
And they're bitter about it. They're bitter about the forced change that happened over the years.
And I was speaking to my lovely wife in regard to this topic, and we can't go too deeply on it because I don't want to bring this shit to my work life or to Audilis, but there are so many other outside influences that have swung the pendulum left for so many years now that it is now swinging more right, past center right to far right, however you want to quantify that.
The pendulum is going back to conservatism.
And because of that, we're now experiencing this, right? If you are a Trump supporter or you're a conservative, you are probably regaling in this because it's like, hey, the things that we elected this madman for, he actually brought to fruition by putting these judges in play.
Right.
That was the whole play, bro. That was the whole stage.
And you're right. And so everyone who's a big fan of him, even though he's not in office right now, it's almost like Biden hasn't done anything during this time. Somehow Trump has done something, even though he's not in office.
100%.
And they're thinking about it, they're like, look, he's still providing, and he's not.
And this is why I don't know if he'll win the presidency, but he'll smoke DeSantis in the primaries.
Well,
because
I think he's going to smoke Biden because not no one, but like Biden is not very popular and they don't have COVID to hide by for their scheme of rigging the election. So, I don't really think that
misinformation. So I agree with you up into the point of I think that Trump not only galvanizes his base, but he also galvanizes the base of the opposition. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. In regards to affirmative action, man, listen, I agree with you, man. I think that things should be in play to a certain point. I know that there are students in certain places in rural Alabama and many other places, even in metropolitan Chicago, who would never be considered for college applications because of the high school they went to. If you've never applied for a college before in high school, which I had not, right? Mantis has, but I hadn't, I was too busy out here looking good. Right? You understand that it's very competitive, right? It's very competitive, and affirmative action was supposed to be a tool to help blacks be seen in this process.
Which I love at its core.
Right. It's not supposed to be an exclusionary process but go ahead.
Right, but like I said before, I mean, how long should it go on? Should it go on for 50 years, 100 years? Like, when do we check back and see like things are equalized now? The truth is, no one can know when shit is equalized. There's just no way of knowing. It's subjective.
So we have to acknowledge. I agree with you. We have to acknowledge the obvious parts of the argument, right? So from the liberal, the leftist point of view, it's like if we would address things like quote unquote systemic racism, systemic poverty, and systemic lack of education in these areas, then you wouldn't need affirmative action, right? If there were resources poured into these communities. Now, remember, I'm just stating what they say, right? If there were resources substantially poured into these areas, into education, into these places, then you wouldn't need affirmative action because then it would be a level playing field, right? That's their argument. Whether they're able to articulate it or not, and they're not, that would be their argument.
You ready to hear what a naive little bitch I was as a kid?
For it.
I used to believe when I was a kid that everyone paid their taxes for schools, and the state took the money and evenly dispersed it among schools.
Idiot! What are you, 5?
Yeah, so I was like, yo, it wasn't until I was out of college that someone explained to me, they're like, no, each area keeps its own taxes and they distribute it. And I said to myself, I was like, wait a minute. That would mean that rich areas get the most best schools, and
Take 'em to
poor
church,
areas
Mantis.
retain shitty schools.
I
And
gotta
they were
go-
like,
go for it.
And they were like, yeah. And it was like, what the fuck type of system is that? And so I would argue, here's something I would probably run on if I was running for office. I'd probably lose because of this, but I would say we should do the pool system. Here's what I'm saying. The system is rigged that kids who live in rich neighborhoods are going to be better educated than kids in poor neighborhoods because they get the most funding. That makes total sense. However, what if their taxes went into a pool and we spread it out evenly? He fell asleep, guys. He fell asleep. D says, speaking of police, they need to change their interrogation tactics. They haven't been updated since established. If y'all don't know them, search them up and look for educational purposes. Princess Beck says, racism and prejudice will always close the doors to minorities. Sometimes you need a friend on the inside to let you in and give you a leg up. AA wasn't the enemy. I do agree.
Anonymous?
I do agree with that. That, like, unfortunately, in life, you do need someone to hook you up with a job, hook you up with a connection to some situation, and unfortunately, that's how the world works. And it's rough. It absolutely is rough. And I guess you're saying that affirmative action would replace that, where they don't have someone to give them hook them with a job, they'd at least have affirmative action on their side.
Yeah, all right. And that's true, man. So I believe in cause and effect, right? There's a reason that affirmative action existed. I was talking to Bex about, was it Bex? I'm not sure. The people who benefited most from affirmative action were not black people, though. Oh, get ready for a bombshell.
What?
The people who benefited historically the most from it have actually been white women.
Oh. No offense to any of you, but white women are the worst.
Okay. So this has been another great show.
No, I can't. I love it when white women are constantly like, I'm oppressed, I'm not seen. I'm like, bitch, you are absolutely seen. You are what society protects and looks after constantly, and you're the most protected human being on the fucking planet. How are you oppressed? But honestly, I love you Karens out there. Love
He loves you, Karens.
I love those Karens.
Yeah, so here's the thing about this, right, man? So could this potential, I have to acknowledge all sides of the argument, right? I understand where people are coming from, where, all right, and just because I understand doesn't mean that I agree. There are some people on this side of the argument who are like, this is the beginning of the end for the African American group. And no offense to anyone of Latin American descent here. I'm just reporting what's being espoused out there. I'm just reporting on what's being espoused out there, right? So if you're looking at it from the African American experience here in America, right? Depending on which African American you're talking to, it's like you have immigration happening where migrants are being brought into places like Southside Chicago, New York City,
Yonkers.
Listen to the places that I'm saying, which have historically been African American, right? Where the African American vote has been garnered. You have African Americans. Now, I'm not saying this is true. Just follow the chain of thought. African Americans now saying, hey, we now want tangibles for our votes. We will no longer unanimously vote Democratic Party, Democrat, without some type of tangible proof that our vote is being used. Then the Democrats say, hey, let's bring in more migrants and people from different areas to now potentially replace the vote that we no longer want to fight for. And if we don't have to fight for this vote, on top of affirmative action being repealed in regards to higher education, you can see how some brothers and sisters with kufis could potentially make a very strong argument that the replacement theory that Tucker Carlson is talking about is actually happening to the African American community in America.
If I could speak like a psychopath for a second,
you are a psychopath. So speak.
I am a psychopath, and so I don't want to seem like a conspiracy theorist, but I am. And so here's basic economics, guys. Here's what happens. Billionaire has a lot of factories and stuff that he needs to fill. He's like, I need these whole shits. And so when there are few workers to work it, the workers can negotiate their own pay and they make more money. Hence, the time after World War II, when the Greatest Generation came back, there weren't a lot of people to fill factory positions. So they were very happy to have these people and these guys. And therefore, you could be a waiter and you could have your own home. And you could, a couple of years, you're like, I'll work for 3 years and then I'll buy a home. And that was something that was happening. And his wife was a stay-at-home wife. He's a waiter. Right. And so what it is when people are fighting against globalism, people are like, look at this hillbilly, look at this Trump guy, hating globalism. The idea of globalism sounds fun. We love our neighbors, we love everyone, everyone's cool, let's have some open borders, right? But the concept is that the more people who are just allowed to just come into any country, particularly uneducated, unskilled workers, it lowers the amount of money that unskilled workers make, because they can replace you at any fucking minute with a new group. And they want to, these billionaires want to saturate America with a population of uneducated, unskilled workers, because they don't want to have to negotiate for your pay. As soon as you suck, they will fire you and they will hire someone else.
So
because there's a whole line of people out the fucking door who need it.
So that is a very well articulated point, man. And you're talking about something that Bill the Butcher and Gangs of New York talked about, but it's a hard pill. And I'm not going to say it, but if you've seen Gangs of New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
We're going to talk about the bourgeoisie of Black and brown communities. You know those affluent motherfuckers you think are on your side? Say again?
I said Tyler Perry.
Yes. You know those affluent motherfuckers you think are on your side if you're Black or brown, but in actuality, we have to question about how they became millionaires or brown or Black billionaires. If you really want to do a conspiracy episode, I would love to do a conspiracy episode with you about the Black and brown bourgeoisie.
The Black Illuminati, you mean? Fuck yeah.
The Black and brown elite. But I feel like we've hit the threshold, man. We both got to be up for work tomorrow.
Right. We can't get into that right now, but yeah, it is a thing. I would love to do an episode just solely on that, because you are right. The Black Illuminati is a fucking thing. People think it's fake.
It's a thing.
Yeah, people joke around. They're like, Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry control shit. Okay, it's possible. Maybe they do. But other than that, just in general, there is a hierarchy.
The Black and brown elite, are they actually in service of their brothers and sisters?
And so, I got to say, this is not a shout out to Dina. Fuck Dina. But when I worked at Target, their human resources woman was a
Dina?
No. You don't know her. This woman.
No, is that her name?
Dina. Yes, Dina.
Yeah,
Dina.
Fuck Dina.
Yeah, fuck Dina. She was a very big, heavy set Black woman from Mount Vernon.
She was fat.
Who made it. And so when particularly Blacks, and this is so funny, if I came over and I was like, I'm having baby mama drama, and they're like, oh Roy, you can go back. You can go do your thing. But when a Black would come up to her, and she's Black, would come up to her and like, I'm having baby mama drama. And she's like, well, really? That doesn't sound like my problem, motherfucker. And she was harsher on Blacks. And she would always love to have this whole talk about how she made it and they need to make it, and she pulled herself out of the fucking ghetto and they need to pull themselves out of the ghetto. She doesn't want to fucking hear it. And so now that she's made it and she's part of the main, top 5 executive leaders at Target, she doesn't have fucking time for her own people.
Wow.
Fuck.
When did she sell her episode? I want you to go ahead sell her episode. When did she sell her soul? I want you to go ahead and make the banner for next week, because next week I don't give a fuck what's going on in popular media. We're going to talk about black and brown bourgeoisie, the elites.
Yes,
we're going to get into it.
I love that. Yeah, fuck yeah.
We're going to get into it. Bro, did you have fun tonight?
I fucking had a ton of fun. We didn't do an indie
Okay, real quick. Indiana Jones. So you went down to the city. You hung out with a friend of ours. You saw Indiana Jones.
He was very sensitive about whether I'd like this movie or not. So
really quickly, just the backdrop. Indiana Jones claims to have gone to many foreign lands with a whip. There were unruly natives misbehaving, doing things according to him, and he whipped them into shape. All right, go ahead.
So Lucasfilms has this problem, right? You saw the Star Wars trilogy, the latest one, right?
Yes.
They did the same thing to Han that they did to Han and Luke that they did to Indy.
So he dies.
No, he doesn't die. He's a pathetic old man whose life sucks, whose family left him, who doesn't have anything going, and it's just fucking depressing.
Wait, was this not the same thing in the Shia LaBeouf thing, except for he was swinging on the whip?
Now he's not even doing that. And then at the final end, at the final finale, are you ready to hear this?
I'm ready.
Spoiler alert. He's in the final battle, and he gives up. And he says, I don't care if I die. I have nothing to live for. Everything sucks. And Phoebe Waller-Bridges, his goddaughter, has to punch him out.
Spoiler
alert. She punches him, and she solves all the problems at the end. He wakes
by knocking him out?
She knocks him out, and she's just like, fuck this shit. Knocks him out. He wakes up, and she has solved everything while he's passed out. And instead of having a great climactic battle or adventure or killing Nazis or whatever you'd think that a good final Indiana Jones movie should have, they robbed us of this, making him an impotent piece of shit that required this young lady to fix everything for him. I was vexed. I was fun.
So, real question: how did the indie fan that was sitting next to you respond to it?
So he really enjoyed it, and he was like, "It was good. It was good. Don't tell me it wasn't good." And like when he says things like that, I'm like, "I love you, man." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was all right." And so I can't, in that situation, you're not allowed to be free with your own thoughts. But like I'm saying, this particular person, and I love them very much, is really into nostalgia. An example is, did you see the sequel to A Christmas Story?
Yes.
It was like horrible. I think it was totally
Very
horrible.
bad. Very bad.
It was absolutely horrible. And when I went to his house, he thought it was amazing because I think he lives for nostalgia.
Right.
And he's unable to separate himself from true evaluation of whether something is good or bad. And I love him. He's a great guy. But I would say that I don't care if it's Indiana Jones. This was not a good movie.
So that's been the general consensus about it. The CGI, many people have reported that they love anything in regards to young Indy. And then many people responded to, I heard someone refer to him as inept Indy at the end. But the Indiana Jones story, man, it was not meant to go this many stories.
It fucking wasn't. And I gotta say, if you go back to three ended perfectly. So they drank from the cup, they drank from
Kalima.
He drinks from the Holy Grail. He saves his father, and him, they ride off into the desert, and you never know what's happening. You don't even know if he's immortal. Maybe he's immortal. You don't know.
Sean Connery.
And that was the best way to end it. And they keep making shitty movie after shitty movie. And
because of nostalgia. That's the problem with this shit, bro. That's the problem with this shit. Here's the problem with James Bond. Nostalgia, right? These old legacy fucking fans and these old legacy fucking producers. Here's the problem with Star Wars. Old legacy fucking fans, maybe not, and old legacy fucking producers, right? I think the worst thing Disney ever did was decanonize Legends.
I agree with you. It's a mess, and they plagiarized it anyway.
Bro, you have a
copy off of it.
You have a complete roadmap to victory. Same thing with Marvel, right? I'm talking about Marvel and DC comics, the publications, these reboots.
I'll tell you. You know what
it.
Kevin Feige's biggest mistake was?
What was that?
Dissolving the Comics Council.
I said that to you. I was like, why the fuck? Here's the thing I don't understand, man. I fucking roll that shit in. I'm like, Hickman, you can no longer run around like a cowboy. But I do enjoy what you did with the Ultimates. And I do enjoy what you did with Fantastic Four. And I exceptionally enjoy what you did. What should have been the reboot of the comics leading into Time Runs Out, the end, all that shit, right? I'm not saying it right. Rob from Comics Explain, go check that shit out. The Ultimates, all that shit. And by the way, I wanted to ask you, maybe we can get into this off air or another place. They're rebooting the Ultimates. It looks like it's going to be a great story. They're bringing the Ultimates universe back. Some people are speculating that the Ultimates universe is actually going to be it moving forward. I'm like, Marvel would never do anything that
People
bold.
speculated back in the day when the original Ultimate Universe was, because they had an ad campaign back in the day where they said the Ultimates, the gold standard of comics, and people were like, and then people speculated, they're like, they're going to make that the real universe, and because it was outselling normal Marvel, however, it was a fad and that died out.
Yeah, because of fans and because of their part with a convoluted storyline.
Yes, they went crazy with the Ultimate. Crazy, weird ass shit. The people were like, well, I liked it at first, but this is just getting weird.
And then you got the Blob eating the Wasp, and you're like,
oh, God. But ultimately, I have to say, with Indy, it like, oh man, it had potential. There were good parts in it, but ultimately not a great movie. If anyone is out there and you thinking of spending money on this movie, don't wait a couple weeks. It'll be on some sort of streaming.
You know what I'm really surprised about, bro? So we were watching Secret Invasion, which I enjoyed the second episode. I'm enjoying where the story is thus far. I was like, man, I think they made a reference to Guardians. Do you want a spoiler?
Yes, please.
So it's clear that the antagonist is trying to make a Super Skrull. It's clear. Now, what's not clear if it's going to be the traditional Super Skrull, which is an amalgamation of the Thing, Reed Richards, Mr.
They're not, because they haven't even introduced these characters yet.
Yeah, they can't do it. But what it looks like is they'll be pulling like from other super beings from the MCU, right? And in the scene, there's a Skrull looking at names, and Groot is one of the names. They're looking for a harvest. I was like, okay, I'm here for it. I'm here for this shit. Also, we find out that Nick Fury is married to a Skrull.
I heard that.
And the way they roll it in, I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking badass. A lot of people were like, why does she have to shapeshift back into a black woman? I'm like, well, there's an easy explain for that. Skrull anatomy could very well be different from human anatomy. And she's not just doing this to make Nick Fury feel good, but she might have to move some things move some things around down there. So it makes sense for Nick Fury, right? Because technically the Skrulls, they're like some fucking octopuses.
But what did
right?
they want her to shapeshift into? A fucking blonde bitch?
I don't pay attention to that part of the internet. But here's what I'm saying, man. I've realized something. Guardians 3 is not out on Disney Plus yet. And it's not scheduled to have a release until August, maybe even fucking later than September. Did that movie do that well? Where they're like, no, fuck it, yo, it's still playing in my local theater. It's
No,
still.
you don't understand. What it is when they're not doing well. They at first when it wasn't doing well, the original strategy was put it on streaming. Now the idea is they're like, let's hold it back and see if people show up to the theater.
But I think that movie actually made money. We're not
It
talking
did
about,
make money. It certainly did make money.
we're
It
not
wasn't
talking
a
about the
flop.
Flash. Like I think it made money. I'm just surprised that it could be out as late as August. Some people are speculating.
The problem with all of these things is that they release them too quickly on streaming. They really should hold back. I agree with them on this. Hold back. You know, here's what I'm saying. What I would do is I'd be like, box office, you have to go to theater. After a while, when that dies out, I would put it on streaming. However, you have to pay for it. I would do like a la carte, like iTunes shit.
Bro, it used to be 90 fucking days, man. It used to be
now it's 45 days.
Not VHS. It felt like when everything was on VHS, it was like 180 days.
Yeah, it was forever. When a movie came on VHS, I didn't even remember it. I was like, what? I was like, there's a RoboCop 2? What?
Oh my god! I think we were signing off, but I'm sorry you didn't have a great time for Indy. I am grateful that you did go see the movie, right? You know, I'm happy that you got to see it. Hopefully, this is the last Indiana Jones we have to sit through. We didn't talk about the fucking Star Wars. What is this bullshit called? The one that was supposed to be about the Darksiders. What is that shit called?
Oh, the Acolyte.
The Acolyte. Who the fuck knows what's going on there, man?
I just, Disney's has fucked up so many Star Wars properties. I just have no love or anticipation for any of it.
Who knows?
I want honestly. Here's what I want to do. I want to find out where Kathleen Kennedy works.
Oh boy.
I want to break in.
Oh boy.
And I want to take a huge shit on her desk and then leave. And I want her to come into work the next day and be like, what the fuck? There's a big pile of shit on my desk. And honestly, if you guys love Star Wars, you guys will join me, and every day someone does it to her.
Oh, wait. All taking turns shitting on
shitting on her every fucking day. Every day she's got a pile of shit waiting for her. It doesn't have to be her office. It could be her home office. It could be her front door. It could be her car. I would love it. It would be in her car. It'd be a good time.
Be a good time.
Because she's a monster. She's a monster who doesn't deserve happiness.
Take us out of here. Take us out of here.
Not Mantis pulling Amber Heard. It's not the same. Pulling an Amber Heard is if you take a dump in your lover's bed. If you take a dump,
did Dee say that? Did Dee say that?
Yes, she said that.
It's not coming up in my live chat. That's amazing.
Look down. She says, "Not Mantis pulling an Amber Heard." Pulling an Amber Heard is taking a shit on your lover's bed. But if you have no connection to them like that, it's not an Amber Heard. It's a Hercules.
Oh my goodness!
Because you're a hero.
So next week, 100% Monday, Mantis and I, no matter
Black
what's
Illuminati.
It's not just the Black Illuminati, motherfucker. We're talking about the black and brown bourgeoisie. The black and brown.
My man. For starters, here's the first problem with everything, right?
Right.
The white man,
here we go,
has tried to connect black and brown shit together. And
Right.
sometimes black and brown shit should be together, but it's not always meant to be together.
Well, that's my argument in regards to certain communities in regards to black and brown issues.
They're always trying to jump on the black algorithm. Have you noticed that?
So, with that said, we're going to end this episode. Right?
I just want to say it. Like, the Miles Morales guy who was during the...
Oh, my nigga. I'm sorry. There was a reason I brought up the Ultimate Universe.
What?
The reboot in Marvel Comics. They brought Evil Miles back.
Wait, they're rebooting Marvel?
No, not... Yeah, well, bro, but I'm not saying reboot or anything, but Evil Miles Dominican looking mouths is back. The one with the straighter hair, and the Maker is back.
I love the Maker. The
Maker is the best version of Reed Richards ever. He's back.
Two things I definitely paid attention to and kept buying forever in the Ultimate Universe was Ultimate X-Men and Ultimate Fantastic Four. And when he turned into the Maker, it was the best thing ever. When it turned out Reed Richards was the secret villain behind everything, that was amazing.
So something really interesting, when Thanos from the 616 made it to the Ultimate Universe and the whole Jonathan Hickman, this is the end, Battle World shit, he actually met with Nick Fury, Black Nick Fury, and he was trying to describe the heroes from 616. And I love this monologue. Nick Fury's like, how strong could they possibly be? I'm quoting, someone's going to say you're wrong, but this is the gist of it. Thanos from the 616 is like, oh, you don't understand. They're amazing. They're the most terrifying, most heroic things in standard of good that you couldn't comprehend in this universe. And he's comparing, he's juxtaposing the 616 to the Ultimate Universe. He's like, these are heroes. You are pieces of shit.
Right. Because
like these are people with
the Ultimate Universe was notorious for being shady and dark. Darker version of it.
I'm looking forward to it. So here, thus far, we have the Maker. So at the end of the Donny Cates, I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong, Venom run, the Maker got a symbiote, ultimately somehow ended up back in the Ultimate Universe. He was in the 616 doing clandestine shit. He found the symbiote from the Ultimate Universe. It joined with him. Venom, obviously, from the 616 was like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Why can't I sense this dude? And he realized he has as a symbiote. This is right before the King in Black thing really kicked off. And that was the last we saw of the Maker. Now he's back, right? And he's like reality jumping, time jumping. In 616, he confronts, I believe I have it right, because I was reading it. I have the shit over here somewhere, the issues. He confronts the Illuminati, which is always a bad idea when these people get together. And now he's jumping around, grabbing shit from them. And like he jumped into a universe that's similar to the Ultimate Universe, but isn't the Ultimate Universe. And it seems like that's how he's going to resurrect the Ultimate Universe. So I don't know what happened from the time when he found the actual universe to his new plan, but the Maker is in play. He confronts Miles Morales. He realizes that the Miles Morales and the 616 is actually from the Ultimate Universe. And he basically says, help me or else type of scenario.
I'm down. I will buy these comics.
It's Hickman. It's Hickman at the wheel, by the way. So one of the people that created the Ultimate Universe, some people say who did create the Ultimate Universe. So it looks like it's gonna be good shit. I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
Well, he should have just ended it because we're about to end it. But anyway, thank you so much, guys. I've been having so much fun. Let's see what's going on. D says, I really like our mindset and the people we grow up with has a lot to do with what we value. In the hood, education is not valued, but also street survival and coming up. Can I please be on that episode? We will see. We will see. See, she has Princess Bex has some shit to talk about. The Black Illuminati. So excited for the next episode. It's going to be friggin' amazing. What was that dance, Steve? Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it. But anyway, I think we've had an amazing episode. We hit every topic. We're gonna hit up the Black Illuminati next week. I know you want to say black and brown. So here's the whole thing, bro.
Go for it.
I cannot stand POC. The term POC is fucking bullshit.
What about AOC? Can you stand that term?
No. But I don't actually no, I can't stand it because I don't flip out as much.
That's because you're attracted to her and
I'm not attracted to her. She's
yes,
just
you are. You are attracted to AOC.
That shit. Real women
you
have
love AOC.
Like a little boy, and she fucking rants like a fucking old bitch. Fuck her.
All right. Good night, folks.
No,
You had a
no,
great
no,
time.
no. You're gonna hear every word I have to fucking say, bro.
Bro, you're trying to tell me that you would not get with AOC.
Yo, yes, I would not.
Mantis. Okay. So you're saying in
He's
your
a
current,
disgusting animal.
your current state right now. You're saying if we were at the bar on 108th in Broadway and you seen a young AOC before she did the video dancing to the Fat Boy Slim song, you wouldn't get with her?
No.
You're a fucking liar.
Wait, hold on. If she was not AOC, like she was an AOC,
Nigga, I just said it was like back in the day. We're at the
okay,
bar.
then yes.
Okay, you'd still be married to her and you'd be making excuses. You and
No, I
Adam,
would not marry
you, Adam,
Slim
Will
Acid.
Smith would all be sitting together like,
No, I would not. Yo, here's the thing. If you're saying before everything, yes, I would get with that. Would I wife that? Fuck no.
Yes, you would.
Because
You
I'd
would.
hear her talk.
You'd hear it.
The
Right,
next
you'd
morning, you'd
wife
have to hear her talk, and I'm not gonna fucking deal with that shit, son.
You would wife her. You'd wife her out.
Yo,
You'd
fuck
wife
you, motherfucker. But anyway,
this is the end of the show. All right, this is it. Say goodbye.
Yo, I love you guys. I've been having a good time. We've been living that dream.
I crave violence.
And so, this is the Fat Mantis signing off. Fanboy Modeling School. We're having such a good time. Thank you for stopping in. Remember to spade and neuter your cats. Yo, do you want to shout out or anything?
Pillow Talk tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Clubhouse, and maybe if you're lucky, some video, audio area. Peace out.
And no, Thursday, Mantis is going to be doing his new show, man. Whatever the fuck it's called, whatever it is, please be there. We're all chatting, we're hanging out, we're doing our thing. It's going to be Thursday at 10 p.m. We all love you. Thank you for stopping in. Live the dream. Don't take shit from anybody. Remember, don't go to a second location with a hippie. This is the Fat Mantis and my boy
Steve, real name, no gimmicks. Never caught up in a swinger situation. They couldn't give me enough coke to end up in their house in any way, shape, or form.
Blam. Stay away from that coke. Until next time, ciao for now, bitches.